Well, here we are again. Didn't I just make a video about the coronavirus heist? What was it, 8.5 billion or I don't even remember how much money. All this fucking money gonna be used because you gotta help people with the coronavirus issue. I'm always trying to tell people to stop participating in this economic system, because when you pump money into this economic system, that money is used to purchase politicians who then work to alter policies and laws and create bills and packages that are going to help the companies that you've been pumping money into. So the only way to actually get any change, other than just killing the politicians and killing the business owners and killing the rich people who are actually fucking over everyone on the planet, the only legal policy that you can take part in is to stop shopping. It's obviously it's wrong to commit murder, so we can't do that. If we were to attack, we would more than likely lose, because the country is filled with fucking idiots and morons. So you have cops and army personnel who will fight against us. So it would just be the poor people fighting amongst themselves while the rich people just sit back and watch. I mean, Animal Farm is such a great story. It's just a great piece of literature, because it perfectly explains mankind. Most people are stupid. They're lemmings. They're sheep. I mean, it really is depressing to know how fucking stupid the majority of people on this planet are. But that's what people will do, and that's what people do. You look at the protests in China, when people are out in the streets trying to protest this sick, corrupt, demonic government, and you have their neighbors and their fellow citizens fighting against them. The police, are like brutally fighting against them, attacking them and trying to hurt these people as much as possible, when the people protesting are trying to make life better for everyone, including the fucking police and their fucking family members. But instead of being able to actually fight against the actual corruption, they're fighting against the fucking police. So all the poor people are fucking fighting each other while the rich people are fucking people over. And that's what happens in this country. If we were to try to revolt and attack, of course, we would get shut down, because you have our neighbors, our friends, our family members who are part of the police force and who are in the army and in the Navy and all that shit. All rich people will tell them, it's your job to do what we say, so go and kill your neighbors and your family and your friends. The ones that are trying to fight for a better country for everyone, including you, I'm ordering you to attack them, fight them, and stop them from protesting, and stop them from actually getting justice. So it's really fucked up. But I'm getting off on a tangent here. What I really wanted to talk about was just, this is going to be another volume in my Stop Shopping series, my critically acclaimed Stop Shopping series that no one fucking watches. This is going to be another volume, another entry. So I went over the coronavirus, the coronavirus aid package. I don't know the names of these fucking heists that these people are always planning. That was $8 billion taken away from the American people. And I went into great detail with that. So if you're interested in that, which you more than likely aren't, you can check out that video. This one is about the new coronavirus stimulus package, economy package. I don't fucking know anymore. All these different fucking names for all of these crimes that these people are committing. So this package is going to be used to pay rich people again. It's another fucking heist. It's just rich people paying politicians to use this unfortunate incident that we're involved in to fuck people over. So they're going to take out billions upon billions of dollars and just give it to rich people. And what's funny is the way that you help the economy, the way the capitalist economy is supposed to work is people, the general public, the majority of people within that economy take the money that they get and they pump it into these businesses, and these businesses then use that money to help people. That's the way it's supposed to work. But this time, the government is giving a measly $1,200 to people. Not $1,200. They're giving $1,200 to some adults and $500 to children. So not everyone is getting $1,200, but let's say everybody's getting $1,000. So you're getting $1,000. Nobody is going to use that money to pump it into these businesses. If you want to actually help the economy, then you would set it up so that the economy can work the way that I just described it. You would make sure that people are receiving a steady amount of money that they can use to go to businesses and give them the money, so that the businesses can then in turn use that money to pump into their bank account and pay their employees and keep providing products. If you give all of the money to the businesses but only give a little bit of money to the consumers, then the businesses aren't going to create products, because the businesses know that the consumers don't have any fucking money to buy the fucking products. So you're not helping the economy. The rich people are just going to take the money and they're going to keep it for themselves. That's how it works. And it's not that these people don't know that. They're expecting the rest of the stupid people in this country not to know that. And unfortunately, the stupid people in this country won't know that. Or even if they do, they won't pay attention. And even if they pay attention, they won't do anything about it. So that's what's happening here. If you're trying to help the economy, instead of giving people $1,200 fucking check that they're not going to really be able to spend because they're going to want to hang on to it just in case they run out of money or they really lose their job or the economy really or the country really goes fucking belly up, instead of just making sure those people have money coming in all the time so that they can then go out and spend the money, you're giving them pennies and then giving all the money to the business owners. So that's a problem. And another thing people need to focus on and think about and pay attention to. If you're trying to help the economy, why are you giving money to business owners if you're telling the consumers who are supposed to help the economy themselves by pumping money into the economy, why are you telling the consumers that they have to stay at home and they can't even go out and fucking shop? If the consumers can't even shop, then that means the economy's in trouble anyway. So why are you giving all of this money to these rich people? Unless you know something bad is about to happen and rich people are trying to get as much money as they can so that they can jump ship and go and protect themselves while the country is just implodes upon itself. That's probably what's happening here. They know something that we don't know, and they're going to create money out of thin air, because we don't even have this fucking money anymore. They're just creating money out of thin air, giving it to rich people. Rich people will then take that money and relocate somewhere that's safe for them and just let the country just die. That's the only thing that I can see here, because none of this makes any sense. The first thing that doesn't make sense, as I said, is if you're trying to help the economy, then you make sure that the consumers have the money that they need to pump it into the businesses so the businesses can keep running. That's how the economy works. But you're not doing that. So that's weird. Not only that, but then you're telling people the little bit of money that we're giving you, you can't really spend it because the stores are going to be fucking closed. So we're not even allowed to go and give money to these businesses. So then the economy, you're not trying to help the economy. So it's too many weird things going on. I've been trying to write stuff down so I can be a little more coherent, but this one I'm not writing down. This is also off the top of my head. People, you gotta stop shopping. Bad shit is about to happen. Bad shit is about to happen. And if bad stuff doesn't happen, if this all goes away and the country goes back to normal, and something bad doesn't happen because of this coronavirus, something bad's going to inevitably happen because they keep creating money out of thin air. That money doesn't just go away. That debt doesn't just go away. We got to pay it back. So if they're creating money out of thin air and just giving it to rich people, and then they, on top of that, tell the rich people they don't even have to pay taxes, that means all the tax burden is going to fall on us. And we're not going to be able to cover that debt. And if we can't cover that debt, eventually people start calling in their debts. And when you don't pay your debt, something happens to you. So something bad's happening, is going to happen eventually. But you got to stop shopping. You got to stop spending money. You have to stop going out there and providing a revenue source for these businesses who are just taking that money and then purchasing your politicians, purchasing access to your government. They're just buying access into the government. And I'm trying to find a better way to word it. They're not buying access into the government. What they're doing is they're using your money to create your government, because they hire the politicians. They hire someone and say, I want you to play a role. I want you to play the role of a senator. I want you to play the role of a governor. I want you to play the role of a president. And I want you to do what the fuck I tell you to do. And I will pay you. And obviously the stuff that they want done is stuff that's only going to benefit them. So, and they only have the money to do that stuff because you keep giving them the money. And it's frustrating that people, first of all, it's frustrating, I'm not, I never beg for views. I never beg that people share my videos or anything like that. But videos like mine don't get watched. Not only that, but people can't seem to come up with this concept on their own. The only way to really stop it is as for everyone, or at least a majority of the people in the country, to pull their money. Stop shopping. You see what happens when people stop shopping. All kinds of crazy laws and rules are enacted in order to help protect these businesses. If we stop spending money, then it's a problem. And if we stop spending money, then people will come around and start saying, why are you guys not pumping money into the system? What do we need to do to help? What do we need to do to get you out there shopping again, to keep the economy rolling, to keep the system rolling? If you don't do that, then they're never going to come to you asking you what you need or what the problem is. They're just going to keep doing things that they want to do. It's because you guys you're not demanding their attention. You're not demanding their time. You just vote these people, or shit, most of the time you're not even responsible for putting them in office, but you just vote these people into office. You go out and work and support and prop up these businesses with your time and your labor. Then they give you money for that time and labor, and then you take that money and pump that money right back into the economy, into this machine, and the machine then uses it to create your government, which creates your laws, creates your policies, and runs your life, dictates your future, controls your destiny. So I'm just frustrated now because it's hard watching all this shit unfold. They just gave or came up with a way to steal $8 billion. Now they're stealing billions upon billions more for rich people. And it just keeps happening over and over again, and nobody pays attention or does anything about it. Nobody wants to do anything about it. You see this farce on television where these cocksucking fuck sluts are having these debates or these arguments over this stupid stimulus package, and the Republicans and the Democrats are fighting. It's all a fucking act, because at the end of the day, it was the same fucking bill that they were fighting over. There were no real changes. There were no substantial changes. The majority of citizens in this country are only going to get a one-time fucking check. You're not getting a check every month. You're getting a one-time check, and it's a check to say, well, hey, we're robbing you motherfuckers again. I think in less than 60 days, we're pulling off another big fucking heist that robs you. But we're going to give you a little bit of the money this time. So shut your fucking mouth and just look the other way. $1,200 so that people don't fight back, because there are people, unfortunately, that are, and this isn't even a jab at people. There's some people that are just need the money. They're like, well, I need the money. I really, and it's unfortunate that we live in that situation, but that is the situation. There are people who won't say anything because, I mean, $1,200 to them is a lot of money. They have children that they have to feed. They have children they have to clothe. They have bills they have to pay. So $1,200, they'll take it and they'll look the other way. And that's what this is. This is look the other way money. This is, I am going to rob everyone and I'm paying you to look the other way. Don't say anything. I'll give you a little bit of the money. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. You know what $1,200 does? $1,200 pays maybe rent for 1 month, maybe mortgage for 1 month. And unfortunately, in this country now, it doesn't even do that. It doesn't cover my mortgage. $1,200 doesn't cover the mortgage that I pay. $1,200 wouldn't have even covered the rent on the apartment that I used to have. And it was a 1-bedroom fucking apartment. So, I mean, what is $1,200 is nothing. It pays, even if it does cover your rent or your mortgage, it just covers that. You have other bills. You have utility bills. You have transportation costs, food that you have to purchase, lots of other things. $1,200 is nothing, because the next month when rent or your mortgage comes due again, you're fucked, because it's only a one-time payment of $1,200. So you're getting $1,200 while people who are all, and this is the thing that bothers me, people who are already rich, I mean, these people have more money than you can even dream of having. Not more money than you'll ever have. They have more money than you'll ever even dream about having. The biggest number you can dream about having in life, they have more than that. These people are unbelievably rich, and they are rigging the government so that they get more money. I mean, that is some fucking demonic, sick, monstrous shit where you will fuck over so many people. I mean, it's one thing when you see, desperate people out there who are committing crimes because they're desperate. They're hungry, they're poor, they're impoverished. Maybe they're not living in the street, but they're poor. They don't have access to a lot of stuff that other people have, or they're not able to buy things other people have. And so they get desperate because they just want to be able to take part in this American dream that we're always talking about. So they go out and they sell drugs, or they rob somebody, or they steal someone's shoes, or they hold up a store and take the money. They burgle a store, they burgle somebody's belongings or something like that. And we call those people criminals. While I obviously would never excuse those people, I can at least look at it and understand and see, oh, well, this person is a piece of shit loser, but I understand the reason why they did it. So while I still think of them as a criminal, I just think of them as a criminal human who is just a loser and was either too lazy to actually go out and work for themselves to get it, or were just too desperate because maybe they couldn't go work and get it. And so they're just resorting to crime in order to get the things that they feel they need. When it comes to these rich people who are constantly fucking over the entire country, I can't see that. I don't understand the reason. They have more than enough. How much money do you need? What else do you need? You have more than enough, so why are you engaging in these crimes that are wiping out hundreds of thousands to millions of people? I really don't understand it. It's and it's funny because we've been taught that criminals look a certain way. Gang members, thugs, hoodlums, the mob. Well, I'm not going to say that, but all of these images that we have in our head when we think of a criminal, a black person or a Hispanic person with their pants hanging low and a wife beater on with a scarf on their head, or with dreads, or just had their head shaved, or a teardrop under their eye, or some stupid shit like that. Those aren't the real criminals. Those are not the, if you want, when you, it's funny, I grew up in New York City. And if you're in New York, especially, I'm not a kid. I'm in my 30s now. So when I was little in the 90s, it's different now, but in the 90s in New York, when you walk down the street and you saw a black guy with a hoodie on, and it's the middle of the night and you're walking down the street, you make sure you pay attention to what's going on. You look behind you, make sure there's nobody behind you. You make sure you look at this guy's hands, see where his hands are. If anything, you walk in the street where the lights are shining, or you cross the fucking street. But you pay attention, because when you see him, that's what you think is a criminal. You think, well, this guy's got his face covered, he's black, we live in a poor neighborhood. Who the fuck knows what this guy's gonna do? Let me just wake up, pay attention. Let me just pay attention to my surroundings until I get past this guy, just in case he does something. I gotta, be prepared. And that's fucked up, because when I lived in New York and I walked down the street, down Wall Street, when I worked on Wall Street, and I would see white men walking down the street in business suits and neckties and white shirts, those were just guys. They were just people working. But unfortunately, what I've come to realize as a fucking adult is the guy with the hoodie is just a guy. He's probably wearing the hoodie because it's fucking cold. Even if he is a criminal, as long as I pay attention to my surroundings, I can protect myself from him. The white guy with the suit and the tie, that's the real dangerous fucking criminal. Because nobody views him as the criminal. Nobody thinks twice when he walks by. Nobody pays attention to him when he's walking by. You don't know what stuff he's thinking about doing to you and to your family members. You don't know what types of things that he and the people that look like him are concocting, the plans that they're concocting in order to wipe out entire groups of people. That's the real criminal. So when you see those people, you need to fucking pay attention. You need to cross the street. Those are the real criminals. And you're starting to see it more and more. You got the criminals in the White House, criminals in Washington, criminals running these fucking businesses, and they're all wearing a criminal costume, a fucking suit and a tie and a white shirt and some shiny fucking shoes. And unfortunately, more often than not, and I'm not trying to sound racist, but unfortunately, more often than not, they are fucking white males. Those are the fucking criminals you need to look out for. And if you're too stupid to figure that out, then you're going to keep getting robbed and you're going to keep going through this shit. So I'm going off on several fucking tangents here. This is a lot longer than I wanted it to be. But this is just this is just another volume in my Stop Shopping series. You got to stop shopping. I keep trying to make these videos. This is my little thing that I'm going to do. I think I'm actually going to run for president. I think after this cycle, after Trump or Biden gets elected, I'm gonna run. And I'm not trying to win, obviously. Nobody knows me. Who gives a fuck about me? But I think I'm gonna do that just so that I can get some airtime on TV. Just so that I can start spreading that idea and maybe wake some people up. And it may not be everyone, it may not be enough people, but enough people will get hip to the idea that if you stop spending money, then you can get some actual change. Because I don't think people really understand. I don't know anymore. I don't think people really understand what's going on. I don't know why they don't. That shit is all over the internet now. The internet is a great fucking resource for getting actual information. But I don't think people understand. And it's because the way people are voting. I mean, you had Trump elected, and then you had now Biden is beating out Sanders. So that's making me think people don't understand what's going on. But then you have what's going on in the country. Let me backtrack. The vote is making me think that older people don't understand, because older people are the ones out there voting for people like Biden. And then what's going on in the economy and in the world is making me think that the younger generation doesn't understand either, because they don't make any changes. There's no changes being made. People just do the same thing that we've all done for centuries. We just work, and then we take our money and we go and spend it. And then we work, and then we spend the money. And then when we see someone fucking us over, we complain, but we don't change anything. And that's the definition of insanity. So that means everyone's insane. Well, the majority of people are insane. So I think I'm going to run for president just so that I can maybe wake some people up, because while you have a lot of people online saying this stuff, this ain't new. I'm not saying anything that's unknown to most people. The people that get into positions of power never say it. They never really say it. You have Bernie Sanders who's come along, and you think this guy's a breath of fresh air. I thought that too. And that he's going to make all this change and stuff. And while he talked about change, he didn't really make the changes that were needed. And the changes that were needed were to call out to call out the people that are causing all of these problems, the people that he works with in Washington. I mean, he knows what's going on, but he won't call it out. That's you have all this airtime on television and you waste it. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to run for president. So vote for me. Random Rants 2024. Yeah. I'll have to give my real name. Shit. But in the meantime, just stop shopping and just let people know. Spread the word to your friends, your family members, your neighbors, just anybody that will listen. If you have any questions, anyone watches this, which nobody really watches these things, and you have any questions on what I'm really talking about, put your questions in the comments, and I'll try to make a video answering those questions. But the concept is basically, you go out and you work and do everything that you do normally. You just stop spending money. Convince your girlfriends, convince your boyfriends, convince your husbands, your wives. Stop spending money. The only way to get real change is to pull your support out of this economic system. If you pull your support from the economic system, the system will grind to a halt the way it's doing now. You see what happens when the system grinds to a halt. Everyone in power gets in a tizzy. That's the only way that you get their attention. You don't get their attention by protesting. You don't get their attention by voting. You don't get your attention by doing anything other than taking their money away. That is it. All you are to them are cash creating sheep. That's it. As long as you're creating the cash, they don't give a fuck what you do or what happens to you. They don't care if you're upset. They don't care if you're happy. They don't care if you're sad, if you're glad, if you are having a great... They don't give any shits about anything you're going through as long as you keep pumping the money, keep generating that money for them. If you stop generating the money, then they look down and say, hey, what's going on? The money stopped. And when that happens, that's when you start demanding things. So you got to stop shopping. You got to tell people to pull their money. You got to convince everybody, stop spending your money, because then this kind of shit happens. Right now, what they're doing with this new package is they're creating money and giving it to rich people. Rich people are getting richer because they're creating money out of thin air. That money is a debt the country is going to owe. The people that pay that debt, it's you. So you go out every week and you spend your money and you give all your money to these rich people. Those rich people took that money. They hired politicians who have created this new package so that we have to give those rich people even more money. And then when the bill for that money becomes due, then we will have to give even more money to pay it. Do you understand how it's working? You've paid these rich people who own these businesses, and now you're going to have to pay the bill that they're creating with this new package. So, all you're good for is giving money. If you want to get any real change, you want to stop that, then you got to stop giving money. You have to stop spending money, and you stop spending money by not shopping. Let me shut up because I'll keep going, and this shit's almost at 30 minutes. Stop shopping, please.